What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Final Buzzer Podcast with your hosts, Martin, Zeke, and Yadi. So before we get into this podcast, we're going to start with a little thing that we found off of Speakeasy. Shout out to Burleasy. It's called Highs and Lows. So what we're going to talk about first is like our highs of the week and our lows of the week. So I guess I'll start it off. For me, my highs this week so far was getting out here with the gang to record this podcast, and I'd say my low is just being in the house, not doing anything at all. So that's it for me.
Gonna be that every week.
Yeah, every week.
My highs of the week. I lost 10 pounds from last week to this week. Also, I hit 99 on my 2K build. Still top dose.
Not going
Let's see. My lows of the week. Probably I had a presentation due for one of my classes in college, and one of my partners didn't show up, so I kind of had to go off the dome with their part of the presentation. I kind of turned that into a high because I think I did really good on it. But yeah, I don't think I had any other lows for the week. I think I did pretty good.
For me, my highs would probably be this new build that I've been working on fucking 2K.
I think you mixed it up, bro. I think you mixed up the high and low part of it, bro.
You weren't saying that last night, bro. But nah, this build that I'm working on 2K, it's looking to be really good. And my lows, the fact that I'm still playing 2K.
Yeah, bro.
I don't blame you. We all blink and play like Boo the Fool right now.
Definitely Modern Warfare.
All right, so
that might get better though.
This podcast is going to be a little bit different because we're actually going to talk about something real. So we're going to be talking about anxiety, depression, and heartbreak. And we're going to start off with anxiety. So I think all of us have a time where we have anxiety. And so for me, it's usually when I'm talking with like a big crowd, like people I don't know or talk to, like a classroom. So whenever like you like present a project and like you have to go in front of the class and talk to everybody, and I start to like tumble on words, start to move around and start shaking. And so to cope with that, I would just have to just breathe in, breathe out slowly, and just try your best and stay calm. And just chewing gum is also a good thing, because it also helps you relax. I think that's the only thing I got for anxiety for me, though.
I mean, honestly, like whenever I have to do something that like causes anxiety, before it, I'm always like tapping my leg really fast, my knee is always shaking. I get butterflies, but as soon as I start doing the thing, it's like everything is kind of like mellows out. I've never at this presentation, I was like terrified at first because I was thinking of scenarios like the worst of the worst. Like, what if my professor starts asking me questions I don't know or stuff like that? But as soon as I started it, I was kind of I just kept talking. And if I just kept talking, like my mentality was just fill up as much time as possible and say as much stuff as possible so that she'll think that you covered everything if she can't ask you questions. So even when I was doing my other person's part, I was kind of because my presentation was on the music of the 70s, so we're talking about the Jackson 5, Elton John, Beatles, stuff like that. So I was just filling in things about the Jackson 5s, everyone in the band, what they played, stuff like that. So she couldn't ask me any questions about the Jackson 5. I already talked so much about them. So but yeah, anything in that sense. If I have a presentation, I always get really scared beforehand, but as soon as I start it, it's kind of as soon as I finish this, I won't have to worry about it anymore. So I always try and get it as fast as possible with as much information as possible. But anxiety for me is always an issue, especially when meeting new people, because most people that I know for a long time see me as a really, really funny and really loud person. But if I meet you for the first time and I don't know you, I'm always going to be super quiet. I don't know how you're going to want to talk to me or perceive me, because I'm so some people see me as this and some people see me as this if you talk to somebody that knows me, like, for like 2 or 3 years, they'll always tell you like, yeah, like Yachty, yeah, oh yeah, he's hilarious, like he's so funny. And so if someone new meets me, they're gonna perceive me as needing to be funny. So I never know how like my first impression on people is gonna be, and I get really scared of how people perceive me. But yeah, like in scenarios like that, I never know what to do. I never know how to act in front of people for the first time. I think that's anxiety for me. I barely feel it unless it's like a big project or meeting new people.
I should have took that advice from you. To talking about a lot of information so they don't ask questions. I never did that.
Yeah, if you just keep saying like, I was talking about like Jackson 5. Oh yeah, Michael, he was a vocalist. He was I think it was like 10 years old, and he was in the Jackson 5. He was like, oh yeah, and like look at his clothes and all this other stuff. And she was like, oh yeah, that's really nice.
Bro
that's
had
really
the
nice.
drip.
they were nuts. Jackson 5 was nuts. But yeah, it's always just put as much information so they can't ask you questions.
For me, with anxiety, I've always been dealing with the anxiety for I don't know how long. I get anxious whenever I'm talking to somebody I don't know. Even when I'm talking to somebody I do know, I'm going to feel anxious because I don't know. I just do. I don't got any rhyme or reason behind it.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah,
You just feel nervous for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially like, oh my god, if I talk to like a girl, God.
I think that's with everybody though. Whenever I talk to a girl, my body starts to like, I'm starting to sweat. Like, what's going on? How did I get to this point?
Especially if I think the girl is cute, bro, I'll stumble on words too much. Like it's like, I'll try and act like a person I'm not, and it's like the worst thing. Like, because people will like you for you, and so if you try and act like something you're not, they'll want you to be that person you're not all the time, and you just can't do that.
Have you ever made a bad joke? And then she didn't find it funny, so you're like, damn, I must have messed up bad.
I try not to, bro.
That's how I think that was me at one point, but I was like, you know what? Let's not crack no more jokes to no more girls.
He said not cracking no more jokes.
Sometimes they whatever you say, it could be normal as hell, but they'll find it funny though.
Yeah, like that's the same too.
They'll be acting like it's funny.
Or it's the way I say it that makes it something funny.
Have you ever like? Whenever y'all talking to a girl, and have you ever like noticed her fake laugh versus her real life?
Yes, bro. I notice it so much. Like not even just like even the people in my household. Like I can tell my sister's fake laugh for real life. Like she's like, or like, but I know like she has an ugly laugh. So if it's a real laugh, like I know it for a fact. Or yeah, a lot of people I know. A lot of like I haven't really talked to like a bunch of girls. So the ones that I did talk to, I was talking for like a long time. So yeah, I would always figure out what their fake laugh or their real laugh is.
You ever realize?
Or that little like nose thing, like bro,
a little scoff.
Don't give me that fake.
That just makes me feel like I'm under you.
You be like that when I'm at work.
That joke was chopped.
That joke was terrible. Don't you know what? You lost my interest. It's tough. Okay, so I think that's it for anxiety for me. For y'all got anything else? I liked what you said a lot though. With
like being anxious, bro. I just hate it.
I hate.
Do you ever feel like that in like crowds of people?
Of course.
Like I don't like.
I mean, I never been to concerts before, so I don't know if you ever got that.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna like when I went to like my first concert, I thought I was gonna be like crazy and like I was gonna be like throwing in mosh pits and shit. Like, but no, like being a concert, just like you just sit there and everyone's doing their own thing. And so. Would
y'all consider self-doubt as anxious though?
That's overthinking. Overthinking is being anxious. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, self-doubt.
So you know what I'm saying? Say if you have a crush on some girl.
Oh my. And y'all, this is a whole other story, right?
Bro, but I feel like we should just talk about it anyway.
Branch off here now.
Yeah, bro. Overthinking.
Let's branch off just a little bit. I'm just saying though, because wouldn't y'all feel anxious to like go up to your crush?
And but that's the only reason I never talk to girls. Like that's like I always like I perceive myself as a pretty good looking dude. I got I bench a cool like 185. You know what I'm saying? 189.
He's putting his resume out for you girls out there.
Yeah, heard. But what's it called? But
you should see his closet.
Bro, yeah, but my Camaro outside, bro, heard you.
Sneaker God.
But what's it called? I don't think like I'm a bad person, but I always feel so anxious to go up to a girl and just say, "Hi, I think you're cute," or I think like I was wondering if I could get your number, because like you see all these things where these girls are just like, "Oh, I hate being hit on," things stuff like that. But like, how am I don't know how I'm ever gonna get like a relationship if I never try and do something like that.
Have you ever tried that to an actual girl though?
No.
Like, have you?
And there was like the worst thing they could say is no. The worst thing they could say is, "You bum, I need you to get away from me right now," or something stupid. Like, bro, the worst thing they could say is not no. And so they're gonna say some crazy stuff, or like, "Oh hell," or like, "Hell no, you ugly as," like, bro, like I know for a fact some like.
He said, "Boy,
I remember.
Who did your ad job, bro?
I had that scenario once. I actually did step up to a girl, but she made the conversation awkward because, like, after I said like I thought you were cute and you're like and I like you, she was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, I think I might have messed up right here. That's just a whole way of that's just another way of rejection. But that was tough. So I don't want to talk about that.
Before I like ever even like I know for a fact there are like of course there are some girls that like you're walking on like the street or something, and they look at you and they're like, "He's cute," but they're never gonna come up to you because you're the guy. You're supposed to make the first move. Mm-hmm. So I'm always like, I wonder if she thinks I'm cute, and walk past them. Some like, but like there's nothing I do. I don't have the confidence to do things that other guys do. Like, I don't know if it's just because I overthink things. Like, I always think of the worst. If the worst can happen, it's gonna happen. So the worst, they can't say no. They're gonna say no, bro. And I always get scared. Like, of course, there's situations that's not gonna happen, but I'm so scared of rejection that I'm not gonna even put that type of like mentality like in the world. I'm not gonna introduce it. So instead of having a 50-50 chance between yes or no, how about I don't ask and I just 100% no and I just walk past it?
You just spoke for everybody at this table.
I'm terrified of rejection.
I'm not terrified of rejection. I just if I can already see how, because I already know how I am and I know how I am when I'm talking to females. If I already know how I'm gonna be with this conversation, I'm not even gonna test it.
I think there's nothing wrong with trying it, because if you at least get denied, you learn something. Like, you can like mentally, like if you get rejected, you can move on and find someone else.
Oh, but that first time you get rejected is like your moral, your entire heart
right,
is just like
it hurts.
I might as well not even try anymore.
Right, it hurts.
If they're all gonna be like this, then nah, I'm done. That's how I always think. Like, I get rejected and I'm just like, all right, that was my one of one. I'm done. That was my one chance of trying. That's the one time I'm doing it.
Well, if you say that, then how would you expect to be in a relationship in the future then?
I'm gonna have to meet someone from teachers talking about, hey, find group partners in the class.
That's literally how it
Bro, in high school it was all that, bro.
Find a partner.
Yeah, find a partner, get a group of 5, and then you get their number, and you're like, heard you, bro. I'll text you about the project.
Actually,
hey, how you doing, sis?
That group of 5, and then the last 2 people can't get in the group.
Like, you gotta have to be 2 people, bro. I'm like, heard you.
I ain't never been in a predicament before, because
the thing is, like, getting out of high school, bro. Like, you always met people because of school, and now that you're not in school, I do not know how to confront people. I think that's it. Mm-hmm. Especially in college life, where you like, it's not like you see the same 11th graders all throughout the hallways. It's like there's like 5,000 people in my school. I don't recognize a face as like I gotta walk through.
Like you used to.
I never see the same person twice.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Cause a little known fact about me, like beginning of junior year of high school, I left to do online school. But ever since then, when I go out now, like I would only see like maybe 3-4 people like in 3 weeks just out in the public. I usually see them at the mall. So I think that's like the most based place where, you know, our old classmates used to link up and stuff.
Mall used to be the wave. When I lived on Fort Eustis, we used to go to the mall like every 3 times a week, just to either get food, just to look around, or some stupid, or they to hang out with friends. But now I live in damn near Egypt, so I'm gonna have to go like 35 minutes just to say what's up
Mm-hmm.
to my friends. Yeah, look outside.
I also have that same thing. I went from Greece to Egypt.
That's nuts, bro. But yeah, I'm what you call it. I'm always so anxious on talking to people, anxious on talking to girls, like guys, bro. I can just say like, "What's good, bro?" And they're always like, "Hey, yo, what's good?"
Have y'all ever sat to like next to y'all crush and y'all don't know how to go, so y'all start doing just hand gestures like this, and y'all just don't know what to do?
I bite my nails so like, and I feel like if I sat next to like a person I like and I bite my nails, like they're gonna be like, that's gross, and it's like.
I would just bite my nails, pull out my phone, make it look like I was doing something.
Oh my gosh, bro. Whenever, like, there was this one time, I was like, I woke up with like 2 times. I was in like a car with like this girl that I thought was pretty cute. And so I was playing music. And what I would do is I would just be like, while I was driving, just like one hand on the steering wheel, the other hand like this. Like flipping my phone like this. I'd be like, bro, can you do something with your hand, bro? They're like, cause then what are you gonna do with your other hand? Like, either have both hands on the steering wheel and look weird. Well, I think it kind of looks weird. I either drive 6 or 12, and then my other hand has to be doing something. I usually just keep it like this on like the side, but like when I have someone in the car and like I have to do something with it, or else they're gonna be like, "What's your hand there for? Like, you want me to hold it?" But I mean,
that would be nice.
Like kinda.
That would be nice.
It'd be nice to be dry. It's a little cold. Just blast the cold air. It's like, it's a little cold in here. You wanna hold my hand?
They were like,
the one time I was bold enough to do it, it actually worked. I remember that it just coming back to me now. It was like this one time I was like, "Hey, can you hold this for me?" And so they put out their hand. I was driving. I was like, "Can you hold this for me?" And I was like, and I just held their hand, and she was just like, "Oh."
That's what she said?
Yeah, it was like, "Oh."
oh,
Oh.
that's tough.
And I just kept holding her hand throughout the ride, and I drove her home.
That's nice. Did that ever become a thing?
It like I tried it, but it was what's it called? She like, I'm a very like the fact I'm a very bold person, and she was a very shy person. Didn't want to do it didn't want to do anything other than like hold hands and hug. I completely understand that, but we were doing that for like a month.
Maybe she was waiting for you to do the first move.
I tried,
but
that's a whole different thing though.
Yeah, that is a whole different thing.
That's a whole different aspect of like rejection. That's also another reason I'm terrified of rejection. One time I tried to kiss a girl and then said nah. I was like, yeah, bro. Heard nobody want these lips. I feel you though.
That reminded me of that Ronnie 2K Snapchat where he tried to kiss that model and she said, maybe if I got a clip of that, I'm gonna probably put it in here.
So he said,
Shorty just went this way.
And then he hugged her.
That's bro tried to really bad.
I'm not trying to be like Ronnie, bro.
No one ever is trying to be.
And me, please. I'm ever like Ronnie 2K.
So
everybody hates that.
No, I don't blame him.
2Cap.
Ronnie 2Cap. So I think about this last thing about anxiety. So I want to get back to you sitting next to y'all crushes. How would y'all, if your teacher had said that y'all become partners
and pick your crush,
and you're partners with your crush, right? And you had to start talking. Do you start off the conversation?
I would. Yeah, I start off every conversation.
There was a time in middle school where I was in English class. I don't want to put out her name, but she was a shy student, and so she would always. You probably know who I'm talking about. She would always cover her mouth like this.
Oh yeah.
And she would just. She wasn't my crush, but I did find her pretty. But every time I would try to talk to her, whenever I would say something, she was like, like it was so hard to talk to her because you don't understand what she want, like how she goes about her talking style, like.
Always what's it called? I always started off like I said, trying to make it funny. I'm like, oh, so this project's gonna be nuts, or like they're like, oh yeah.
If you were in my position, bro, I don't even know if you can make her. Well, she'll laugh, but she still won't say nothing. You know, it's like she would always have her hoodie.
She'll be laughing, and all you'll see is.
Yeah, she'll always cover her mouth. I don't know why. I don't know why.
That was the fad, bro. That was a fad in middle school. Huge hoodie. Pictures. Facts?
Yeah, you're not
They
lying.
said
You're not lying.
worst thing.
Yeah, with me though, yeah, I'm not initiating the conversation at all. I'm waiting until she starts talking about the project. I'm just be like, all right.
Shoot. That y'all both speaking for me, because it's either, because if I'm comfortable with her, like I know like this much about her, I'll start up the conversation. But if I know nothing about her except her name, like I'm not starting the conversation because I don't know what to talk about besides the project.
The way I was in school, I wouldn't even know her name.
Yeah, if we like a lot of people, bro. Like I think some girl is so pretty, and it's like if we weren't in school, I wouldn't even know them. Like it's just like popular people. I remember in Woodside, first like freshman, sophomore year, everyone like knew my name. As soon as I went to War Hill, no one knew me. As soon as I'm in ODU, no one even knows. People don't even think about even knowing me.
I mean, you got a unique name though, because I ain't never seen no one named Yadiel.
Nobody see it. Yachty. That's what I think. Yachty. That's what like makes people know me.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, "What's your name?" And it's like Yachty.
Like Zeke. I swear, they're like I'm usually the only Martin in school, besides that 1 year from Passage and that 1 year from high school. Cause not high school, but just middle school. Cause not gonna put your name out there, but shout out to Taz Frosty. But we both have the same name.
You said not gonna put your name out there. Definitely just said we have the same name.
Well, I'm not trying to say his last name.
Heard you, bro.
I ain't want to put his whole government out there because.
Bro, shout out the gamer tag, go add him.
Taz Frosty.
Hey, I just plugged you.
But yeah,
I think that's probably about it for anxiety.
Yeah.
Unless you want to say something else.
You got something to eat?
No, I'm good.
Heard you.
All right, so we're moving on to depression. So I got a story that I want to talk about. So you know this story. I've talked to you about this story a lot. This isn't about a female though. This is about my pet. So I have a dog. I had a dog named Bear Bear. This was do you think this was freshman of high school, or was this middle school? I don't remember when it was.
When
I got Bear Bear. I think that was freshman of high school.
he was a good freshman or sophomore.
But yeah, between that time, I had I saw I talked to him. He was he's still my best friend, but he was my best friend in middle school. And when we were playing the game, I would always hear him talk about his dog. And I always thought maybe a dog would help me feel a little bit happier than how I felt, because when I was in public schools, every day waking up 6 a.m, get on the bus, go to school, go back home, like that just made me feel depressed. Like I'll probably put another clip of Squidward. You remember that one episode where Squidward had that perfect life, but then he kept repeating, and then he just slowly got sad. Yeah. That's how I felt about school. So I talked to my dad. We went to a shelter one day, and we were looking at the dogs. But the first dog I seen was a cute Jack Russell Terrier mix, and he was so well trained and so good that I wanted to see how our chemistry would be. When I looked at his name was Bear Bear, so I always thought that's kind of a funny name. So when they let us in and try and create a little bit of chemistry to see if it worked, I mean, it wouldn't work, but in my heart I knew that he would be like the one that I should bring home, because he was just like, he wasn't biting nobody, he was just sitting there. But so I would say, like, pretty much after that we had took him home, and he was our pet for about 2 years. And when we about 2 months ago, I'm skipping a lot here because I'm trying to make this a kind of short, because there's like a little bit more to go on about this. But 2 months ago, we had to let my Bear Bear go, and I had another dog named Larry, he was a beagle. I had to let him go too, cause well, like about 2 months ago, we discovered that they had fleas on them, and so I mean we took him out to give him a bath and all that, thinking that would be it, but well, the next day they were still itching and stuff, and so I went to go check and they had more fleas. So I was like, okay, well then this house is infested, with fleas and stuff. So I tried my best to like buy a whole bunch of sprays for the dogs and the house. Hopefully, within the next couple of days, like some of them will go away. But it just seemed like they kept showing up, and so I had to talk to my parents about this. This way to live is tough, and so we had to let our beagle go first. We like a week later, I didn't want to give Bear up, but seeing that our situation was nothing but hurting him, so like I thought it would be best for him to go back to the shelter and find another owner that would help him more and be better than what we did. So we had let him go, and I was okay with the decision, but maybe a week or two later, I just I felt bad and terrible. I started being pretty depressed about it, because like I knew that dog for like 2 years and he was like my best friend. So letting him go was kind of hard, but I always have to think to myself that he's in a better situation because now he doesn't have fleas. We're not, because my parents and I were also kind of lazy for him to like walk him, so he was also starting to build up some fat, and I'm sure that other owners would care for him better than we would. So I was okay with the decision. A way that I would cope, or I would cope to not feel bad about the situation anymore, is just keep talking to friends and try and just be a part of a group most of the time, and just don't even think about it and just keep moving on, because when I dropped him back to the shelter, that was pretty much a chapter of my life closing and another one opening, and I'm grateful for having him. He taught me a lot, so yeah, that's all I want to talk about.
So depression, right?
Yeah, depression.
So personally, I've never felt like depression. I've definitely felt sadness, but just like never depression. Depression is like a whole like thing you can get, like go to the doctor and be like, oh yeah, you have depression. I've never had that. I've definitely been sad before. Definitely felt sadness for even like a long period of time. Well, this goes into our next topic, like heartbreak and stuff. But when I had a girlfriend, and it was like I was like the happiest I've ever been, like damn near ever, like with her. But then like after a while, like she broke up with me, and so I was like for like a whole week I was just like so upset with myself, and like so like just so sad, because like I felt like I was doing everything I could, but everything I had wasn't enough, and I felt like what could I have done better, what could I have changed, and I was just like I was crying and stuff like that. But then after a while I just realized like I'm 17, I'm 16, like it's not like I've only lived 16 years, like people live to be 80, and I have a lot more life to live than just like focusing on one person. And if you realize that, then you can open another door and stop focusing on, and stop being sad, and start focusing on the rest of life. Like if life was a 2K download, you'd be like, bro, we're like 18% in with it, bro. Like you still have a cool like 82% left. No, not 82. Wait, 82. Yeah, the math right. Like your internet's slow, bro. You're fine. But
percent.
but yeah, if you just keep so I realized that, and so I stopped being sad. This was after I had my brain surgery also. So during that phase, when she broke up with me, I also had brain surgery, which is something most people just don't know about me. I have this big scar on my head, so I don't know how people don't know about me, but they think it's like the little haircut thing where like you. I got like 3 people told me that. They were like, "Oh, I thought it was like the design thing where when you get faded up," and they said, bro, but honestly, yeah. But I had brain surgery, and so during that time, I was upset, and also I gained. Before my surgery, I was 145 pounds, and I went up to 220. I gained like 75, 80 pounds in a month and a half. Yeah, that was nuts. And so after that, I realized. So I went to the doctor. I realized that like I'm gaining weight really fast. What can I do? And so I talked to them. So now I have like pills I take to help me focus, to cut down on like how much I want to eat. And I also work out. It's also a mental thing. Like if I just had those pills, it wouldn't do anything. But if you work out, now I'm down to trying to get down to 175 and 179 right now. But going down and also it's like a lot less fat, a lot more muscle. You know, I'm saying, heard you, Bertie. I heard you. But we get big around here. Yeah, heard you. But yeah, so just trying to get down. But that was also a mental thing. Like as soon as I stopped being sad and I realized like what I'm doing to my body and like how like I can definitely like become a better person if I just stop focusing on the past and just like realize that like I have a lot more life to live. But my sister, not to like put her information on, but she always had this stage that it was like 15, 16. She was having like depression and she was really upset with herself. And even like sometimes now she would like get really sad. And I was trying to like help her through it. That's why I'm always talking to my sister. My sister and me have like a really strong bond because I know like if I wasn't here for her, like who else would be? So yeah, my sister always has problems with that, but she's great. She always She always helps me through things. I always help her through things. But yeah,
it's a great team.
But yeah, it's an ongoing thing. I'll be here until she stops needing me.
How do you cope with that?
With my sister or me?
With just that type of depression or sadness that you have. How do you cope?
Oh, what's it called? Honestly, it sounds crazy, but like exercise. It sounds stupid, but like me working out, whenever I'm mad or I'm upset with something, if I work out, it always me like putting my mind on something and like pushing as much as I can, and then I come back and I'm focused more on like, yo, I'm tired, than like me being upset about something. Like I push it to the back of my head. I go to the gym, and then by the time I'm finished with the gym, it's either I found what's it called? Like a result to the problem, or like I just realized the problem isn't as big as I'm like making it out to be, and so I definitely focus more on the gym whenever I do that. But with my sister, that's one of the reasons I'm like always trying to be really funny, because with my sister, not only like when she's sad, I always try to make her laugh, and so when she is able to laugh, she stops thinking about it, or she opens up enough when I make her laugh that she'll talk about it with me and we can resolve it. So with issues like that.
The moment has
Looking at it, alright, bitch.
With me, I wouldn't say I'm depressed or I don't experience sadness. It's just I handle the way I feel my emotions differently. Because these two, they can tell you. I don't. Like when I get aggravated, I just stop talking. Like there'll be times where we would play the game and I'll just stop talking, because the way I handle like whenever I'm angry or sad, like not even just about game, anything in my life. Like they'll stop getting text messages and shit. I'll just
It'll be in a different type of state.
yeah, like because my normal one is pretty similar to that, but it's not as deep. When I'm in that mode, it's just I give a fuck less.
Do you find a way to cope with that, or you just let it ride?
It's not that I don't have a coping mechanism for anything that I go through. It's just I gotta let it ride. Because if somebody tries to like help me try to cope, they're just gonna aggravate me more.
Okay.
Yeah. Like even now, like me, the pills I take help me like I used to take Adderall, but it's just what's it called? It's helped me focus, keep my how much I want to eat down. But a side effect of it is like feeling like a zombie. Like that's what my doctor like told me, and I was like, I haven't felt like a zombie. But then like whenever I'm not at work, because at work it's like the worst. Like I have to keep a smile on no matter how I feel, but that's just something I gotta deal with. But when I'm not at work, I don't have to keep that smile, so I'm just flat face, like resting my face. I don't have to make a smile for nothing. So, but then my people see me and they're like, "You okay? What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Nothing's wrong with me." And they're like, "Oh, your face." I'm like, there's no reason for me to smile, so I'm not gonna smile. I'm just gonna keep my face like that. And they're said like, "It's almost like you're a zombie." And I'm like, "Oh, I probably just don't want to smile." And that's why it might be the pills or it might not be the pills, but I don't find if I don't have a reason to smile, I'm not gonna smile. I just keep my face flat. So yeah.
Through my years, I don't take pills or anything, but through my years, I just started. I just like stopped smiling more and more, and I believe it was my senior year of high school. This girl called me a robot because I never showed any emotions. And at first, I didn't know what she was talking about, but the more I started thinking about it, I was like, wow. Because when it came to school or just anything in general, any emotion that I displayed, it wasn't real for her.
So another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, since he brought up work. So when it comes to work, how do you cope with? Well, not even cope, but how do you show your emotions? Since he said he has to keep a smile at all times, and you're usually not the type to always keep a smile on at all times. So how do people approach you, and how do you show your expressions toward them?
Well, I treat work the same way I treated school. I just display fake emotions, not like most of the time. So, only time you're gonna see me display a real emotion is if I'm angry, and I'm just gonna be silent the entire time when I'm at work, unless I'm talking to like a guest or something.
Yeah, it's like because the thing is like the reason I have to keep a smile on at all times because I'm talking to people all day. So it's like if I'm a cashier, it's always, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, paper or plastic? Paper? I heard you, bro. Heard you." Yeah, or something like that. But or like customer service, I'm like, "Oh, how you doing today? You need help with anything?" I'm like, "Oh, happy to assist you." Or something. It's like then I go to the break room for my quick 15 minutes. I hit that.
Yeah.
Or that. Like just contemplating, should I quit today? Today's gonna be the day.
I'm sure everybody thinks about that.
Today's the day.
Yeah, being a ride operator at Bush, I gotta constantly talk to not just like adults. I gotta talk to like people of all ages, kids, just old people.
Bro, no disrespect. Old people I don't know why, but they piss me off more than regular people, bro. Like I don't get what it is. Like it's always like old person, paper or plastic? Oh, I need paper. Or like before you even get to ask the question, is that would you like paper? But paper. No, or like plastic okay with you? Like no, paper.
You hate getting cut off then?
That annoys me. But it's always like plastic okay, or like paper's better. Or I'm like, oh, heard you. Or like, but like customers, if you're a customer at a place, if you're not getting watched by a worker, you're the most disrespectful people. Like people are so disrespectful when they're not being watched. Like they're completely different. Like this person was like putting a card away,
Mm-hmm.
like in like little carousel things, like he did like. Of course, he didn't know I was watching. I was in my car because I was like going to work, and so like instead of like walking and like putting the card, because they were all like lined up nicely, and so like instead of walking like 2 extra steps and like pushing the card in, dude literally said, and the cart like went sideways and almost like came out the carousel and hit another car. And I was like, and he didn't do anything about it. Like, bro, I was like, people also a lot
I don't
grosser.
even want to put my parents' information out there. They definitely do that. What else did y'all want to talk about? Anything else about depression?
And it's not that I don't experience depression or anything like that. I haven't really cared about it. It's just I never try to analyze myself that much.
Yeah, I think like depression is like a diagnosable thing. That's the word I was looking for. And it's like I don't think like
there's a difference between being depressing and then being depressed.
Oh yeah,
Right.
like depression is like if you see people like that are depressed, they really feel their lives are horrible.
It's hard to talk to somebody that's depressed because it seems like every time you try to talk to them, you're just putting them more into a deeper hole, and they just don't want to open up and like even
Go say nothing, bro.
I said heard you.
saying nothing at all. All right, so I believe that's it for depression for us. So
Final one.
the final one, Heartbreak. So
Well, I'll say something there.
what do you want to say?
Okay, I was gonna like to start it off. Have y'all ever been the heartbreaker?
Yes,
You have.
I have. I'll share my story as the heartbreaker, but let me be the heartbroken.
Brokey, bro.
I was about to say brokey, but I said broken part. Whatever.
Y'all gotta make me remember my past.
Did I?
I
Fifth grade really hit different.
I really crushed her little hard.
All right, so I'll start it off with the heartbreak. So I'm not going to use her real name. I will use an alias if I have to, but I'm just going to say her, she. So this was in middle school, 7th, 8th grade. She got transferred there, and I was just like, yo, she is so pretty. So like, I didn't know how to approach her. So what's crazy was my friend Isaiah Gilliam. Shout out to you if you ever watch this. He probably won't, but
Play 2K, bro.
he was. This was Xbox 360 days. So we were playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I believe it was, and funny enough, he invited her to the party. I was like, who is this? And then he was at the party. And I didn't know she had played Call of Duty, so I was like, "Oh snap!" So I have something to approach her about because I didn't know her, and so I think probably the next 2 days we had cores, right? They were called
core classes. Oh my lord, core classes.
Both of y'all was in the same class actually.
Yeah.
We had math, so we were in the computer lab that one day, and so I had approached her, and I was like, "Do you play Call of Duty?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, hey, I was in the party with you the other day. How you doing?" I was way more scary than that, but I was just like, "Hey, you wanna hang out sometime?" And she was like, "Sure." And at that time, I don't think anybody was using their actual phone numbers and Kick Messenger.
Kick Ubu days.
Definitely the Ubu
Hit
days.
me up on that Ubu, you.
So we had exchanged our Kick names and we talked. I want to say pretty much every day. It was actually going swell for me. So I was like, you know what? Sheesh. Why? I should probably actually take the next step then. So at that point, she actually had invited me over to her house, and I was like, wow. I did not expect that one yet. I just expected, going to
the Dairy Queen.
Just something like
the mall.
A little date, something like that. But she invited me to her house. I was like, shoot. I don't know how to approach this, so I went to go get some food and then get to her house, and we what I'm saying, we didn't get to do nothing crazy, but because her mom was always there. I think she did that on purpose, but her mom was always there, and so I was like, I can't put a move on her. I can't do this because like you know how moms are. Some moms go nuts when you try to do something with their daughter. But anyway,
At least you ain't meet the pops.
Let me cut through those worlds real quick. Just letting y'all know, the mall is not a date. If anybody thinks that, you're a cat.
I was thinking about like a restaurant, but
Yeah. I had to cut through. I said the mall, but a mall is not a date. You walk around the mall, that's your buddy.
You going out with some friends.
Yeah, that's like that's a side hug that you get.
That's a side hug if you're lucky.
That's at the first half. All she gave me was side hugs. I was like, I haven't broken the.
He said,
I haven't broken it yet. So like I think maybe 2 visits after that one, we actually started hugging. So I was like, okay, cool. We broke into that stage. That's fine. I'm fine with that. And so, maybe 2 weeks later, this dude who's her best friend came up to, or he texted me. I don't know how he had gotten my kit, but he was like, "Yo, this is her best friend," and like back off of her because I'm trying to get with her. I'm like,
best friend vibes. I heard.
I'm like, yo,
bro.
I'm like, bro,
bestest friends. I heard.
She said that you the best friend though. He was like, nah. I'm trying to
fight them junks.
I'm trying to be with her. So I was just
bro,
like
8th grade. Relax.
I had to ask E, and then she was like, no, we're just best friends. And I was like, are you sure? Because he just texted me saying that he wants to be someone else. She's like, I'll talk to him later about that. And she never gave me the true details of that, but apparently it was alright. But he still had a beef with me. And I was trying to figure out why, because that doesn't make sense.
You got beef for anything.
Yeah,
I had beef with some kids.
I had to go to some flag football.
Yes, sir. Bro, beef was different in 8th grade. After school flag football, I wanted to.
I had beef with niggas over gym class.
Well, anyway,
we playing dodgeball.
So this story's I'm dragging it on, but to sum it up though, I feel like I was just so close to actually getting with her, and then went to a field trip into Jamestown.
I was there one.
I think we were on a different bus, but you went with me. But we went to Jamestown. It was like December, January, so it was dumb cold. It was stupid cold. So I'm friends with this other girl.
Brought that heated blanket out. He said,
I'm friends with this other girl. So and she was like, she's like, can I get a hug or something? Because I guess she was.
It was like, can I get a hug, days? Yo, where's my hug at?
And then I was like, so I gave her a hug. Literally right after school. And I wanted to say that she wasn't even on that field trip. So somebody had told her what had happened, and she got mad over it. And so she was like, "Don't talk to me, just block my kick or whatever." And I was like,
changed her profile pic to that black screen and 3 dots. That's her username.
I was like, it wasn't even like that. I was like, it wasn't even like that. Please, like, don't do this.
Actually, whenever you change your kick thing to anything black, it would just put 1 dot in the middle.
Yeah, 1 dot.
Yeah, it was always something that you went through. Like, it was
Don't
tough.
Text me.
But it was rough for me because I felt like that was like the last straw. But actually, that I was able to talk to her again. But it's like we started from back to like stage 1. So I was like, oh my goodness, I fucked up bad. And
the bag.
I never got back to that base, except I was like I think like 2 more times I was able to come back to her house, give her a hug, but that's it. We watched a little movie. She's kind of weird, so she had put on a movie on Netflix about because she's vegan, so she had made me watch like a vegan type movie, and so I was like.
Dude said over that genre, vegan. Heard you both.
No, like it was talking about how like meats and restaurants out here that provide protein and stuff is bad for you, and how you should eat veggies and stuff. And I was like, bro, that was so boring. But
I gotta watch it.
I gotta watch it. She's right next to me. I was just like,
oh wow, for real? Oh really? Oh heard.
And she was like, because I had also ordered pizza. She ordered pizza, and she was like. and like the company was actually in the in the movie, and she was like, "You just made me eat that." And I was like, "You're the one that chose the pizza. I just supply with the money." So I don't know what you're talking about. But pretty much after that though, like the conversation became dead, and I was like, and then before that, I had texted her my feelings, and that's to that at that part, like, y'all, I feel like all guys know. Yeah, all guys know that's either a hit or miss. You show your feelings, you're either gonna be vulnerable and get hurt, or
I feel that on a deep level though. Like I feel that deeply, bro.
Like
as soon as you say, "Hey, I like you," it's either no, I don't like you either.
It's like that, except paragraph.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Like it's always like a crazy paragraph that you send them. Like I think you're the most beautiful girl ever. Like and stuff like that.
Like I like our friendship. Like
I don't want to.
I like how we are right now.
I don't want to ruin our friendship.
That's the number one excuse any girl.
That is what happened to me.
I don't want to ruin our
friendship.
I
texted this much.
Dude said that much.
And she hit me with like, you know, I just want to stay friends. Like I like our, you know, I like how we are right now. And I was like, wow, man. Like I'm hurt. Like to the point where I want to play Marvin's Room.
Ah, damn.
And you know what's funny? Literally like a week or two later, she actually dated someone else.
Oh really?
And I was like,
okay.
My heart was freaking broken, bro. I was literally like broken for like, I want to say pretty much a month, bro. Like that was the first girl I have ever like tried to actually make a move on. So I guess you could say, along with our conversation earlier, like that made me like be scared of rejection. And so after that, like I didn't want to approach no one else ever again. So like that's why the way I am now, I'm just sitting back. Although I would like to be in a relationship, I just don't want to have to face that fact again where it's you either hit or miss. Like that's hard for me. And how I coped with it, I don't think I was able to. Like I had to just keep trying to. I thought about it every single day until like I just, you know, didn't care anymore, and it was hard. And also my story for breaking someone else's heart. I don't want to sound like a dick, but
it's gonna come out that way anyway.
It's
no matter what.
Right. So, this is the end of 8th grade, going into high school. I had talked to this female, and over the summer, you know who you possibly know who I'm talking about. Her name starts with the A. And she we had dated during the summer, and literally 2 weeks afterwards. Now at first she wanted to break it up, so I was like, okay, that's tough. But then like months after, she wanted to get back, and so I was like, nah, I think I'm good off of that. Okay. And so she was like, wow, okay, fine, be like that. I'm like, you were the one that you broke it off with me in the first place, right? And I think I talked to you about this too. This was during my trip in Florida where she had called me back, and she was like, she's like, you want to, like, I want you to be my baby daddy. I was like, you know who I'm talking about,
baby daddy.
And I was like,
I remember these conversations.
What grade is this?
This is high school now.
Oh, it's high school.
I remember these conversations. I just don't remember.
She came back to me, and I was, I was like, sure, why not? But she lived across the state, so there was no way for me to actually. I can't, long distance relationships never work out for real. So I just ended it off. She pretty much ghosted me, so it's whatever. I knew what was going to happen, but I felt like that was best because that was never going to work out. So
yeah. Well, me being heartbroken, I've been heartbroken a couple of times. I've been a heartbreaky, I think once. Well, one person, multiple occasions. But what's it called? Being heartbroken. Not gonna put any names out there. But what's it called? This person, I was with her for it wasn't even a long relationship. It was just like I talked to her about this one I talked about before. It was just like I was so happy that it was just like being not having like that person in my life was always like after that I was like what did I do wrong to like have this happen? Like what could I have changed before or like to not have this happen now? Or like even now, like sometimes I'm like, what if we stayed together? Or like even just stupid stuff like that. But yeah, being heartbroken happened that and other relationships that like I barely remember now. Like stuff I used to send all those like the paragraphs and stuff like that. And I think that's what like killed my perception of relationships now. Like now that before I used to be the one to like send like a paragraph every night or like send a paragraph to like tell them like, oh I love you, I love you so much, yeah, and stuff like that. And like when they wake up I'm like, oh good morning beautiful. You know, the waves what the guys do all the time. And then like after like you've gone through so many like relationships, like I think that was like the first time I've ever been like broken up with, like heartbroken. No, there was one before that, but it was like I didn't really care that much about it. But like now, if I ever try like a relationship, it's always just gonna be like the texts are gonna be like we're friends. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing?
Literally back then, it was always that good night paragraph, and when she would respond, she was like, "Aw, good morning."
You're the best.
It's always with the monkey.
Oh yeah, the monkey and with the.
Aw. That's how it was every single time, man.
Yeah, but what you call it? Now like my relationship, like me trying relationships is always just like, even if I say like, hey, do you want to like do something more? It never ends up that way because I don't act that way anymore. So like I'm not the type to send paragraphs or anything like that. Like only time I send paragraphs if it's someone's birthday. If it's your birthday, I'm gonna send you a paragraph like explaining like, hey, you're a great friend. I appreciate what you've done for me.
You'll be lucky to get one of those.
Or like something like that, but like Heartbreak happened, you know, this past week. A low for me, bro. That's a low for me, bro. It's not really a heartbreak because like it's not even like I confessed my love to this individual. It was just like I asked them to. I was like, hey, I think you're really pretty or really beautiful. I was wondering if maybe you would ever want to like go out. And they said before this, yeah, boo, I would love to. I'm just at VCU right now. I was like, heard you. Not putting no names out there though. No, school fine. Not putting no names out there though. But yeah. But my boy Martin went out there, put in a good word. It was just like they were just like they're not looking for anything right now, and I totally respect that. But what's it called? They were just like the one person I was like I actually like the one person the longest time I've ever been like I guess shot my shot per se and say like just like went to the bleachers, the crowd caught it.
Like Andre Roberson out there.
Yeah. Andre Roberson 23% clip. But yeah. I mean, it's not like it hurt me like crazy. I'm not like super hurt about it, but I just like I hate like knowing that like that. This also goes to like sadness because I'm always like if someone says no, of course I understand they have their reasons. Like of course like this person said like they're busy at school. Then I'm always like, is there something wrong with me, or like I was in like is there something wrong with me, or am I not like their type, or like is there something I'm doing wrong to like not be of interest of this person. So like VTU, like I live up at like high Virginia, so VCU is like a 40-minute drive maybe. It's as close to me as Newport News pretty much. But what's it called? So I always like question myself as a person, saying like, am I doing something wrong? Or maybe like that's another reason I also like work out a lot. Because like I have this like perception of myself that I'm like really overweight, even though like I'm not really like crazy overweight. But I'm always like look at myself. I'm like maybe if I was skinnier, people would like me, or like maybe if I was skinnier, people would look at me and be like, oh, like he's cute. But so I'm always going to the gym trying to like get right, but that takes so much dedication. I'm like I've been doing this for so long. I just like at least I don't look like as bad as I did after my surgery. Definitely not. I look way better, but still, I feel like I can like I see all these like pictures of like got like people in relationships, and like most of the time, like 8 out of 10, it's always like an athlete or like a someone like that that's fit and like
Don't forget tall.
tall. Yes, sir. Because right now, bro, I am a 5'4" individual, so I have to make up somewhere. If I'm not fit, I'm not doing anything with my life, bro. I'm sorry. If I'm not physically fit, what am I gonna do, bro? I have to be physically fit. I have to make up for it somewhere. I have to be. You have to hit two things at least. You have to be funny, fit. What else? Tall, smart,
Athletic.
fit. Also, yeah. Athletic. Yeah, play a sport. Yeah, that's. If you don't hit at least two, done for. But
Yeah.
that's my issue. Also, be like also with fitness.
Definitely 0-4 right
He said 0-4. Dude, come on, bro. You know the tallest out of all of us.
Hey, bro.
Only 5'10", bro.
5'10".
5'10".
I've seen niggas dunk 5'10", bro.
You telling me I'm dunking?
Bro, I need you.
Post game is different.
Bro, heard you. But
My
yeah.
standing perks, I like that.
But being the heartbreaker, it's always like this one person. They know who they are. You guys know who they are. But we're on it, like always on and off. On and off means they always want to get back with me. Since like the second time we broke up, I was like, no, not really. But I always, because the thing is, like, you can never, in my opinion, be a friend with an ex. Like, I always try and be friends with my exes. Like, because I'm not a rude person. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, we broke up, I hate you, like, for the rest of my life. Like, I'm over that. Like, I'm not in 8th grade. I'm not in middle school. Like, I'm more mature than that.
Time to grow up.
Yeah. If we didn't work out, it's just because we weren't correlating, so I don't really care. So, but like, they're always, whenever I try and be friends with them, like I text them and I FaceTime them and I say like, "What's up? How you doing?" We always go like on a roll of like talking like every single day, because like I don't really talk to people in the first place. Like probably you two are the only people I text every single day, and like my family. But but yeah, so we always go on this roll of like texting every single day, and then FaceTiming and stuff like that, and then we always end up like, she always end up like talking to me about, do you still have feelings for me? And I always have to hit it, or like always be like, I mean, I just like where we are, I like being friends, and then like they always get upset, and I'm like, I don't try and put myself out there as trying to like get back with you. That's the one issue. I'm never like, yes, like, let's try this again. Let's do this again. Yeah. Like I'm never trying to push that on them. They always just perceive me as trying to get back with them, or like they miss what we were. And like the thing is, I'm growing as an individual. I'm not the same person you saw in 8th grade.
Don't set yourself back.
Like I'm not the same person you saw in 8th grade. I'm growing as an individual, and also like I realized after my surgery that I can't love someone if I don't love myself. My mentality right now, I'm still not even.
That's real.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not even in the phase that I love myself enough to put myself out somewhere with someone like that. But yeah.
You don't even love yourself.
I'm not even gonna go over that topic.
Bro, it's just so true. It's just so facts. Like, but yeah, that's why I don't try and get out there. But being the heartbreaker, yeah. First time we ever broke up, it was after like a year, and like we were both crying on the phone. Like I don't know why I was crying on the phone, but yeah, we were both crying on the phone talking about like, I'm sorry, you were so good to me and stuff like that. Like I'm sorry that we have to like break up and stuff. The second time, she was crying. I wasn't crying. Third time, we both didn't cry. I don't think I'm not sure if we got back together a third time. I think the third time was like one of those times that like we were talking a lot and like she wanted to get back together, but we just didn't. And I was like, oh, I don't feel that way. I'm not trying to do this. I like after like it's like because my parents do it, like separate and get back together, and I don't want to be that way with anyone, especially put someone through the same thing my parents are going through. So I'm not gonna go back with someone more than twice.
Okay.
So yeah, that's me.
Haven't heard your story.
The moment
yet,
has
pal.
come, Bruce.
Haven't heard your story yet, pal.
I don't break hearts from here. I just want to get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
If I did somehow, I'm sorry. Whoever you may be. I doubt I did. I don't talk to people, so that's very rare. But being heartbroken, it's like I wouldn't say I was heartbroken, but you know, when you shoot your shot and that shit get blocked, yeah, I'm definitely like.
Not even one of them like regular blocks, bro. Not even a tip, bro. That thing got
Snatch.
out the air.
like my guy Anthony Davis.
Bro, Anthony Davis snapped that shit off the glass and came down with it, bro. Not even a foul too. Play kept going. Play kept going.
You just stand there looking like you did something. He said,
"Oh, hurt."
It's rough though.
I think in my entire just high school career alone, like 07, 08.
I think did I ever hit no? I don't think I talked to nobody in high school for real.
High school, I don't even know what I was doing.
High school, like 10th grade, Woodside. I was in there.
I was very confused.
I was in there.
I was very confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so it was just.
Let me get in that.
Marching band bag, you feel me, son?
Now I ain't gonna lie, marching band folk, they actually do pull.
Some shorties in marching band, the wave.
This guy will not watch this, and I know that, but you know his Instagram, King Leon. Yes, bro.
Bro, you can't just put their Instagram out there talking about King Leon. Yeah, bro, heard you.
They didn't know who was Instagram, bro. I just said King Leon. Anyway, man, you know what I'm saying, he did have that one shorty, light skin.
I can't put their name out there.
No, cause I don't.
T?
Know.
Yeah.
She was.
Heard you, bro.
Yo.
Heard you, bro. Heard you.
Man's got someone, man.
No
and one of your best pals too. I ain't gonna put.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna put his name out there.
Not gonna put no names out there though. We don't do that. Marching band though. If y'all don't look at marching band people, y'all gotta understand.
Don't forget to look at volleyball too.
I see. Now we're about to go into the topic. We're truly appreciating
the female that I was talking to actually played volleyball.
Some softball. I think basketball shorts aren't that cute. Basketball girls aren't that cute, but
softball though.
Softball.
She ain't gonna watch this either.
Let me too.
But her name starts with the R, and I know who y'all know.
Heard you, bro.
From here.
From here.
He ain't getting it, but
don't worry, he will.
Yeah, he will.
Caw, you feel me?
You ain't just do that, bro.
Yo, I thought I was gonna give you a hint of who it was.
Bro, I'm definitely slow as fuck.
Anything you want to talk about more about your time of heartbreak?
I wouldn't say it affected me as a person. It's just you get used to some things.
I actually remember a story that you showed and talked to me about. I ain't gonna say it though. Her name starts with a G though. High school. Yeah. At that time it seemed like it was actually something real, man. I'm not going to speak for him. That's up to you if you want to talk about it.
08.
Yeah. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
Not at all.
Is that it?
I think that's everything.
All right, guys. So first, I want to say, if y'all relate to any of us, go ahead and comment down below. And
any shorties? Let me not say shorties. Any females that have any tips? If we're doing something wrong, please allow us know, or let us know What the hell is wrong with us? I really be trying out here, folks.
He said 2 women.
Single mothers. Any single mother specifically?
Go ahead and hit my line. I won't disappoint. I won't disappoint.
Oh my god.
All right, so like I said, if y'all relate to any of us, go ahead and comment down below. I run the channel usually, so I'll if you talk about it, I'll respond to it. If y'all like what we had to say, go ahead and like, share, subscribe if you haven't turned that noti bell on. We upload every Saturday, but we come here every Wednesday to record. So, the Final Buzzer Podcast, we out.